Morning. It's been an interesting night. First night alone. Very long time. Well, it seems like it anyway. And when I mean alone, I mean where there's no other people about. It feels different, but also it was good to just go and just be without any contemplations to contemplate other than just being, and gratitude for my own bed and the silence and it was a good night. Wasn't the best sleep, but I've not slept properly since I first slept in the tent. Well, I think was it the next night? But it was different. All of a sudden I had a proper sleep and felt calm and happy and relaxed. It was weird saying goodbye yesterday, but you see, I knew Lionel was going to be going at some point, and when he said he was going off to do his thing, yeah, okay, made sense. And then deciding that I don't want Simon here, and I totally needed to make that decision for my own well-being. And I was still overwhelmed though, because it was a lot to think about. It wasn't the fact that they were going, it was the overwhelm with getting ready for them to leave. Lionel turned up with his friend, which wasn't expected. I didn't know about it. Part of being under the umbrella, this autism, is when you're focused on something and someone causes a change, really throws you. And when you're feeling particularly vulnerable, or you've got a lot of things going through your head, which I have at the moment, when it comes to, like yesterday, the day I found a stool that had been broken. There was no screws. I don't know where the screws were, but the top of the stool had come off the bottom of the stool. There was more things that had been found that had been broken and hidden. Trying to get the animals into some form of routine, not being able to pick things up and tidy things up, trying to get a cleaner, and all these things, trying to also work out how to make things manageable so that I could have accessible food and drink, and sort out the animals without having anyone about. It's a lot to think about, a lot to contemplate and put in place. And then to have a strange person that's unexpected turn up when you're feeling really low as well, coming into your personal space, which is not something that I do. I don't like it. I'd made it clear, and Simon, knowing after living with me for so long, should know that I don't do strange people. And Lionel had asked about a friend coming, and I said people don't come until I've spoken to them by video interview, and I don't like new people. I don't like to do things until I know, until I'm feeling safe. But nevertheless he brought someone. That person had, you know, the three, Simon, Lino and the guy, gentleman, like, was smoking. Like, I don't like smoking. I don't want to smoke. I don't like it in my space. Even though it was just outside, I don't like it. So I found that difficult. So an overwhelm of many people, because to me 3 can be many. I don't dress up for people, but it was all very quick and unexpected, and it threw me big time. And then because it had thrown me and I was struggling to think, and then trying to have a conversation with someone who's a stranger about things that just, they do come to me because I study I study and I meditate and I tune into things. So I was able to converse, but I found it incredibly difficult because I wasn't able to say fully, or I could have said fully how I thought about everything. But if I had have done, people would take it personally. People very rarely, and I could have caused all sorts of bother. So it was best to just stay quiet, which is what I did. But yeah, I'm glad to be alone, to be able to, well, when I say alone, I mean without other humans at the minute, because I felt in some ways violated, because the things that are extensions of me, now I know everything's transitory, I know things pass, I get that. I've lost things time and time again. But I also know that to get here, where I am today, has took a lot of envisioning, a lot of tools to come my way, to collect my tools, to collect my cutlery. When I came here, those from the early videos, do you remember? I had a fork and I was eating porridge with a fork. So it took a lot before I ended up with cutlery. It took a lot to be able to get a pan set. The pans look like they've been kicked about. The stool broke, like, lids missing, tubs missing, like cutlery missing, utensils missing. So many things, like plants not watered, that when I was like touching it, the soil was like cork, you know, it looked like it'd float on the water. So I don't want to sound like a grumpy, ungrateful sod, because I'm not, because I'm so grateful for the help. None of this would have been possible if I hadn't had people that came and took care of the animals to the best of their ability, kept them alive, fed them, watered them, and took care of my home space, my sacred space, and my vehicle, which incidentally has accidentally been bumped by someone, and the front bumper's damaged, both sides. I need a new front bumper. somehow the rear shocks, the struts on the boot have been bent, so I can't open my boot anymore and it doesn't shut. I need to replace them. Just things like that. Things are in a different place in my car now, but I don't know why. But that is what I'm trying to sort out, and that is what I'm just sorting to the best of my ability. Like, and this is why I'm looking at reevaluating things for who will come and share space. Now, the trip, the operation, the treatment, all those things happened, and it happened in a small space, and there wasn't time to really fully evaluate things. The people that had been planned for weeks, cancelling a couple of days before I left, had thrown me a curveball, and it was only possible. And I'm only pain free because of Simon and Lionel. So there is a balance of absolute gratitude, and there is a disappointment and sadness and feeling unheard, because I'd stated stuff, I'd wrote stuff down, it was in an email, I'd left a list. I'm annoyed at myself for making assumptions that someone who'd known me for so long would know how I have things, since he used to take the mickey out of me in jest, because I like things a set way so I know where they are, so I can see them. But also, I have peripheral vision issues, so I don't always see what's right below or at the sides of me. So when things have moved on the floor or left on the floor, I'm likely to fall over if I don't see it. So I have to be really mindful when I walk to where I'm walking to, what I'm doing. So having things left on the floor and stones and stuff moved to people that don't have that problem, that mobility problem, the vision problem, it's not a thing. But to me it can make a massive difference, especially if I fell and hurt myself right now. Thanks to Too Short. This morning, 6 o'clock, he was here. He's gone over the floor, all where I walk. He's picked up all the rubbish that was left. He's moved anything that might be fully overable. He's sorted out the tyres that had been moved. He's sorted out and topped up the water. He's made sure that the dogs was okay. They were okay, but he's just checking anyway. Double checked all the other stuff for the ducks and chickens. Made sure I was okay. He's took a bag to the bins for me. What else did he do? He helped me feed the kitten. Yeah, he just came and tidied up things that it's not possible for me to tidy. So that has made my day, my week, and it's made me feel so much more at ease with being alone without people. Because being alone without people, even pre-operative, I had to be very careful about things on the floor and make sure that things were set up so that I could do and live and be to my abilities. And now I'm slowly being able to get that back. You know, things do pass, and again, one day I might actually get some plates or bowls. What's bowls? That's a bowl's been broken, and some cutlery and stuff that replaces what's gone. I'll get in Tupperware and stuff. It's just the way it is. And I'm glad that I can, you know, work towards getting these things sorted, and I've got people that are kind-hearted enough to come round and give us a hand, like Jane putting the water in the jars and making it so that I can wash up. 10 minutes maybe it took her, and that was it, sorted. So I am really grateful for people, and I'm really, really grateful for all the help that I've had. And I am okay, and I am more than okay. I'm very happy and comfortable and at ease now that I can walk about safely, and I can now manage like the ant issue, because ants are still coming in everywhere because the way food was left and rubbish was left on the floor near the house and the door and stuff. So yeah, I'm totally like on it, and things are slowly getting back into some form of routine. That putting the birds away last night was really quite challenging. Now, the birds used to take about 5 minutes and everything would be away because we were all in the flow together. But the way that it's been, they've not had a routine as such, and they've been like, I'd seen the night before Simon picking up a bird and putting it away, and having to get out some things to use as like stop boards to put the ducks away. I mean, that is not something that I can physically do, and it's not something that I've ever had to do either. So the getting the animals into a routine again so that we can all just know what we're doing, and it's not something that anyone's confused about. When I say anyone, I mean the birds. Like we all are on the same level. So when we get back into that kind of thing, going to put them to bed, it's not going to be so hard. Trying to move a brick yesterday without picking it up and just using my feet, that was just away from the door, and try and sort out the ducks. And the way the straw was, because Simon had cleaned out, meant that when you went to shut the door didn't shut and to lock. It was like, and I couldn't get down to move the straw to do it. But Too Short sorted that this morning, because yesterday I had to just get them in, then hold it shut with one foot and try and get the brick over in front of it with the other, and try and get it so I could fasten it. It's like, yeah, but it's sorted. It's all working. It's all manageable. Everything's now slowly coming back into the flow. There's only me here to sit with me right now. That's exactly what I want. I can go through and process those feelings of feeling unheard and unseen, because when you try and say things and people take it offensively, or when you say things and you're being really honest about things, come on, fly, and people are not remembering maybe, and sometimes it's not your lack of communication, it's their ability to hear, and you never know which one it is exactly, and sometimes you have to sit there with yourself and think, you know. But being in this place now where I can allow myself to feel again, where I feel safe, and those that I contact will know if I need something. I'll say, oh, can I just have this or whatever. Having a cleaner potentially come in to start on Tuesday, unless I get a cleaner contact me sooner. But I feel this cleaner who's potentially coming Tuesday is a good way forward. I really feel that that's gonna be a massive help to get things sorted, especially get things back to how it was originally in here before things started getting moved and changed and altered. And then I can start again with that. I feel like I could ramble on about the different things that I've chosen to do now, that I've been thinking about during this process of being incapacitated in some way, and what's the best way for me and Creative Roots moving forward. And that's no alcohol, so there won't be any drinking going on here, because I don't drink, and the people that I experience, the majority of people that I experience that do drink, they're not able to take full responsibility for themselves when they drink, and I am not willing to take responsibility for other people. I concentrate on myself. So unless someone's willing to be responsible for themselves and capable of when drunk, it ain't gonna happen here. So it's very, very unlikely that anyone will be able to drink here. And the smoking and fires and things, to honour the planet. I am that tree. I am this house. I am the animals. And I wouldn't do to those other forms what I wouldn't do to myself. So I wouldn't put smoking in my body, and I wouldn't put alcohol in my body, and I won't put chemicals in my body unless there's a certain reason to do so, and I've really thought about it. So I wouldn't do that to things here. I'm trying to honour everything here because that is my responsibility. So for me to live a responsible lifestyle, and provide the best possible safe space for those that choose to be here with me, the animals choose to be here, even bears choosing to be here at the moment, which is brilliant. I will make sure that here, that anytime there's not full open communication, sure, I can take constructive criticism, but you have to be able to talk about it first. I don't want, like, raised voices happen sometimes, but certainly not putting up with like, yeah, it's a 3 strikes and you're out kind of thing. When it comes to being respectful, all lives are important. Everything's important. And, you know, if you break something, I think you should pay for it. If it's an accident, it wasn't an on purpose. But if you're not capable of being responsible for something, then you shouldn't be taking it. You shouldn't be, you know. It's how things can get lost from the kitchen to just outside the kitchen in a space of maybe 4 meters. In a, you know, I've no idea. And yeah, people need to be willing to take responsibility for themselves. So I suppose that's a bit more of my how I feel about what people should be doing in this space, in this safe space, in this sacred safe space, because it's not just for me or just for the animals or just for the planet. It's here to be shared with other like-minded souls, people what are come for respite. They don't want to be worrying about their safety and security. People what are come here to connect with nature, not listen to attitudes and raised voices and people's judgments and people's righteousness. Fuck that shit. People need to come and be allowed to be, and to openly express themselves and be heard and seen and understood to the best of my ability. And that doesn't happen with alcohol. It doesn't happen with drugs. It doesn't happen with people disrespecting the environment and creating clutter and throwing rubbish on the floor and stuff like that. It doesn't happen, because when there's an imbalance of anything, it creates things more imbalanced. So we ended up with an ant's nest, well, two, by the front door of the building, and that happened because there was a new food supply, and the land was dry and stuff, but that new food supply gave them full, to come, and the place and the ants, it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so I'm being very careful, very mindful. So anyone else who's coming is able to enjoy the peace, the tranquility, the being able to walk about without anything on the feet, without getting spiked, without worrying about falling over too much. Obviously, you still got to watch where you stand, but that taking care of the place that you're in and taking care of yourself is so much easier to do when you're mindful about what you do in your environment. And I love it here, and I've come here to heal and to grow and evolve, and that is only possible without clutter and with total love and care and for my environment, and feeling safe and feeling secure allows me to feel grounded. All these things are so important. Your environment is vital for your well-being, for your health and well-being, for your body and your mind and your spiritual side. It's all so important. And even more so, the more traumas that you've had, especially things like PTSD and stuff. You need a cool, calm environment where you know where you're at. It's so important. So I really ask and call upon you all to honour yourselves today. Honour your truths. Take care of yourselves. And really see what you can do to help you in your body, your mind and spirit, by looking at how you maybe associate with things that are in your environment. Everything is energy. We are one. We are all connected. Take care.